hit the.
Oh, hold on.
What's up, Dave Scott?
Nothing. How you doing, man?
Oh, it's the sun is shining in Kansas City.
Yeah, it's shining here in New York too.
I like the motif back there. You got the KC, you got Miles, you got things happening.
Yeah.
Well, man, hey, as always, it's so good to have you reach out for another Kansas City visit. This is the first time we're actually like seeing each other in a conversation, so it's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah,
You
yeah. That's
know.
right.
So last night was a big night. I didn't get to see it, but Pat Metheny came to town.
No, I heard. Yes, I heard.
Yeah.
I know Tim Brewer, good. He's a good friend. He's going to be doing the gig with us at the big band thing, and they went to see Pat, and I
Okay.
told him be sure and tell Pat hello for me.
Yeah. I
And he's going to be playing in New York next week, but I'm going to be already out of town. I won't be
yeah.
there. So he doesn't play in New York very often, actually.
That's weird. And it's weird too that he hasn't played that much in Kansas City, but it was quite a homecoming. I remember right after the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, Herman Mahari came back to town.
Right.
And that show at the Folly, I have never seen energy and enthusiasm and that homecoming vibe. It was so cool,
Oh,
man.
that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm sure last night there was some kind of special vibe in the air for Pat being back,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
you
Sure.
know.
For sure.
Well, and speaking of coming back, you're coming to Kansas City.
Yeah.
So let's dive right into it. What prompted it? What's up? What are you going to be doing?
Well, last summer when I was there, Tim Brewer and Tim put together a big band, and we played some of his music and some of my music. We played at the Blue Room, and so we're going to do it again this year on the 29th, June 29th. I believe that's a Thursday,
Yeah,
and we're going to be doing it at the Westport Coffeehouse Theater,
great venue.
and it's kind of early. I think we play 6 to 8
Okay.
to do a couple of sets or something like that, 6 to 9 maybe, but a couple of sets. And we're doing some of his music, Tim's written some new stuff. Tim's a very good writer, bass player, and he's been in Kansas City for his whole life, and I've known Tim though for many, many years. And then we're doing some of my charts that some of my stuff that I originally wrote for small group that I kind of orchestrated and put in a big band format. Still a lot of solo space.
Yeah.
So.
The one thing about you is you have very deep Kansas City roots and you're in the Mecca of jazz in New York, but you always make these annual pilgrimages, whether it's summer or winter here. What do these trips mean to you in your growth and evolution and just your psyche of continuing to evolve as a jazz musician?
Well, I mean, I've always had a soft spot in my heart for Kansas City, growing up there. My roots. Um, and then my relationship with Pat when I was in high school, Pat Metheny, we played together. But growing up in Kansas City, I remember in the '60s, Kansas City had one of the best jazz festivals in the world, and I heard so many greats there. And then also there were some clubs there. The Landmark, I don't know if you remember the Landmark. It was down in Union Station,
Yeah.
and I heard a lot of great bands would come through. The traveling groups. Cannonball Adderley, Weather Report. I heard so many good greats to Herbie Hancock, his band Sextant, and there was a club at Union Station, and the bands would come through for a week and stay for a whole week. So I'd always try to get down there, and but the jazz festival when I was young, my dad took me to the first jazz festival in I think it was '67, maybe '66 or '67. And down at the uh, municipal auditorium there downtown.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I was 14. My mom had the flu, so my dad took me, and that was it, man. I was hooked. And I heard Cannonball Adderley was there, Clark Terry was there. Clark Terry would always play. Excuse me. Clark would always play with Arch Martin.
Yeah.
You remember Arch? And
Oh, yeah.
he was
Yeah.
great Kansas City trombonist.
Yeah.
and uh, and the George Salisbury Trio,
Yeah.
and they would always play a set on the festival. Uh, and but like I said, I just and Kansas City still has always had a good scene.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of uh, really great musicians there. Uh, and everybody's playing. There's a scene there. I mean, I know I talk to the guys, and they're like, they're all playing
Hmm.
4 or 5 nights a week, and they're playing jazz.
Yeah.
So it's great. So Kansas City's always been a great jazz town.
You
So
know,
I always enjoyed coming back. You
yeah,
know,
for sure. I always remember when I was a kid, and I just remembered this. My dad used to take me down to Brush Creek. They used to have big concerts
right,
down there.
right, right. Yeah,
And it's hard to believe that that was a heavily populated area and there was tons of people there, and they would get really big acts that would come in through town.
right,
So
right.
when you brought up the Jazz Fest, it's like there used to be massive congregations of notable artists. I mean, there still is, but it was a different thing then.
Yeah. I mean, they're back in those days too. It seemed like every major city had a jazz club where big names would come through and stay for a week. You know,
Yeah.
that's kind of it's still there somewhat, but not like it used to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, again, I heard who else did I hear? Dizzy Gillespie down there. I Clark
Wow.
Terry through with a quartet. I'm talking about the Landmark uh, Weather Report, the early Weather Report. You know,
Yeah.
and uh,
Yeah, that
so
would be.
great scene. So I always love coming back. I still have some cousins there. Um, uh, I have a lot of friends there, so I always look forward to coming back.
Yeah.
Kansas, and
This
I
is
know
that.
my way around. I know my way around town.
Yep, certainly. So the one thing, we were in communication very early on when this pandemic started. We had no idea what it was going to do, and there was this back and forth. But it seems as though in this era right now, we're entering the post-pandemic kind of thing. Musicians are back, things are happening. How does it feel now with the warm months, the itinerary, you're traveling? How I'm sure it's sunk in a little bit that we're back. How does it feel?
Oh, feels great. You know, the pandemic, it was so weird. You know,
Yeah,
nothing was going on. It's like, um, I'd get it. Every day was kind of the same. I'd get up and practice and whatever, try to do a little exercising, have dinner, whatever, watch a movie or two, watch a ball game. Uh, every day was the same. And we stayed mostly upstate at my brother's place.
yeah,
And, but anyway, yeah, but to answer your question, it's great. And actually, I've been pretty busy doing stuff lately. I played a Smalls last night with my quintet,
right on.
and it's great. The great crowd. Everybody's so happy to be back to normal, so to speak.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great.
The one thing I tried to do over the pandemic was just avoid the news. I'd read it first thing in the morning. I'm like, I'm not going to do this tomorrow. I'm not groundhogging day. I'm out.
Right, right.
It got to be too much because your brain thinks, well, there's going to be good news today. And then it was just like, nope,
No,
sorry. Let's
no,
close it
yeah,
out.
yeah,
So
no, yeah. But anyway, at least we got through it. I mean, we're
yeah,
not 100% out of the woods yet, but at least it's nothing like it was.
yeah,
So,
absolutely. So let's really get to the good stuff here. Tell everybody when you're going to be back, the gigs, how they can get tickets, anything pertaining to your trip.
well, just the Westport Coffeehouse Theater on the 29th. We hit at 6, and I think if you contact them, I'm not sure. I mean, I know you can pay at the door.
Yeah,
You come in. I think it's pretty much just a donation anyway. They suggested donation,
yeah,
and but I have a feeling it's going to be pretty packed because
yeah.
Tim, when we played at the Blue Room last year, it was packed to the brim. It was like full. So I have a feeling we'll have a pretty good crowd there. So you might want to get there early.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Westport, it's in Westport. Everybody, I think, knows where that is, the Westport Coffeehouse
It's a
Theater.
great venue. I mean,
It
that
is.
just such
It
a
is.
great vibe, you
It's
know.
like an old time. kind of venue, you know. It's like a little, kind of like a little theater. It's really nice. I always enjoy playing there.
Yeah. I would think I've never really talked a lot to musicians about playing there, but when I see and I'm there, I just feel like there's this just such a good feeling coming off the stage.
Yeah, yeah, it's a great vibe. And
Yeah.
Tom, who runs it, is really supportive of the music. He's really into it. So always enjoy playing there.
Cool, man.
And then it's going to feature all. It's going to be an all Kansas City band.
Right on.
All the
Right on.
musicians are local Kansas City working musicians and very good band. When we did it last year, it was really a lot of fun. So
So with the official World Waking Up live gigs, you mentioned Smalls, you're coming to Kansas City. Anybody out there that wants to learn and keep up with what you're doing, where do they go? What's the best thing to do?
well, you can find me on Facebook right now. My website's kind of under construction. I'll get that up pretty soon. But yeah, you can find me Dave Scott. Uh, there's a lot of Dave Scotts, but usually I think it says musician when you're doing a search for
Yeah.
somebody. And there's
Yeah.
a picture of me holding my trumpet and
Yep.
sunglasses on. So they're going to find me there. That'd probably be the best thing. I'm also on Instagram.
Cool.
So uh, yeah,
As usual, Dave Scott, thank you so much for reaching out. I'm so glad you're a regular on Neon Jazz. We always love
yeah,
talking and extolling the music. So thank you, man.
always, Joe. Anytime, and I hope to see you
Yeah,
down. And,
100%. I
yeah,
can't wait, man. I can't wait. It's so good from my angle to see all of you cats back out there and shows. I mean, it's like I'm almost in PTSD land. Like, wait, hold on. We can go to shows again. Everything's fine. No one's
yeah,
wearing masks. We're back at it. It's like weird that reality is here.
right.
So it's cool, man. But yeah, I always love catching up with you. Thank you, Dave. And we look
Likewise,
forward
Joe.
to Kansas City. Cool.
Thanks, man.
Thank you, man. Have a
All
good
right,
day.
take care.
Cheers. Take care.